right, we're hopping back into it. BTSL round of 8 Group B. The second match of the day. Spawning here at the top right. He is the young Italiano Red Zerg Reynor.
Wow, I was on the wrong camera, but it was at the perfect timing. To the bottom left-hand side, our blue Protoss player is Harstem. You're in Naruto, just must be so insane.
Absolutely. Basically a boy band. We did get some subs, by the way. Thank you guys kindly to both T-Wave for the 27 months and Grazel for the 7 months. Thank you guys for resubbing. Of course, if you guys have your Twitch Prime subs off cooldowns, gosh darn it, I know I'd love them. We're not struggling for subs, but if you enjoy the content, you want to get things like replay packs from the groups, consider slapping us with a Twitch Prime. But while we wait for the game to pick up, because no one's done anything cheesy, and frankly, I don't expect them to with the players that we have here, I want to give a quick talk about another one of the sponsors here of the BTSL, and that's, of course, Dodger Coffee Co. They recently added tea, which seems to be a real big hit with some of our viewers. But they've got coffee, they've got tea, they got shirts, they got mugs. You can check them all out, of course, by typing !coffee into the chat. And that link will automatically apply a 10% discount to the website. But just in case you're feeling a little paranoid, you can also enter in BTSL on the checkout to save 10% off on any purchase. Moreover, it lets them know you came from BaseTradeTV, so check them out. And before someone asks, yes, Dodger as in that Dodger.
Which Dodger?
That Dodger.
That one?
The super pregnant one.
Oh. I was so confused, but now you've cleared it up. Oh, good.
Reynor's freaking out with his Overlord a little bit there in placement, but okay. It will see the probe come in the base, nonetheless.
I think when you just have so much APM, you gotta just spam around a little bit.
Dude, and he's young, so he's probably got energy to go with it too. Yikes. I'm really jaded on this. If I had to make a call for score, honestly, I don't know what I'd say. I think it's a 3-1 in one of their favors. I just don't know who, because Harstem, again, so slick, especially in Nation Wars. Granted, that was against a different race, looking quite good. But Reynor has been taking down bigger and bigger dogs. Like, this kid is seriously just chewing his way up the ladder.
I mean, I really feel Reynor was like at this point where he was it kind of felt as though he was almost unbeatable in like everything he played in for a couple of months, and right now he's doing pretty well for himself. But I really feel like a month or so ago he was like the player to beat outside of like Serral and maybe Showtime. It just felt like no one was putting up a fight, but Harstem's run through Nation Wars has just been truly insane, like inspiring. I didn't realize Harstem got so good all of a sudden again, because like Harstem's been, Harstem's always been very good.
That's the mistake. Yeah, exactly, Woody. It's not that he got good.
Right, but you don't, like, Harstem for me wasn't the player who goes to an event and just all kills all of these teams with like pure confidence, like again and again and again. He's the guy who has like a good match or two, but
it's because he's really generous and benevolent. He knows he could beat everybody with one hand tied behind his back, but he lets others win to have a chance. That way, everyone doesn't quit StarCraft 2 because they can't place in a tournament. Harstem's really, not all heroes wear capes, I believe is the saying.
Good guy, Harstem. I mean, now you say it's just obvious.
It's like that time Flash lost at MLG, so Terran wouldn't get nerfed, you know?
Which one was that? Was that when he lost it?
Yeah, I think it was Hyun. I can't remember, so long ago. I just remember Hellbats were like, rest in peace. But, ooh, orange? Orangey orange, and this actually got updated. So
they fixed it.
Actually, now, supposedly, they put some other stealth changes in. I saw a Reddit post about this. Like, Anium Pulse Crystals now is apparently purple, and there's like a couple other subtle things. But, yeah, we got Resonating Glaives coming out of Harstem. This is an attack that, if not seen coming, can be absolutely devastating. Because this is not an attack you can make a reaction to. You have to preempt it. You can't just see the adepts come in and make 20 lings and hope it'll be okay. You need to already have Roaches out. You need to already have Queens out. Like, this actually looks really bad for Reynor because he has no idea this was coming. He didn't get in to see the Twilight Council. He has no idea about the amount of gateways. All he's seen was the Stargate, which looks pretty normal. This might be a bit of a tell, though. Harstem giving away a lot to clean these up.
I mean,
that's a lot of information.
Yeah, he sees just so many adepts, right? So now he kind of has a pretty good idea of what's going on. But I mean, he is going up against a Ling Hydra Force, so generally these Adept attacks are so good in this scenario because it's Lings and Hydras. And by the way, he just warped in Sentries, so I'm pretty sure Harstem's going to start making Immortals. He's probably not really going to use the third base. And he's just going to go for a big kind of Adept Sentry Immortal attack behind this initial Adept push.
Third base is just an extra chrono.
Yeah, extra chrono, just, you know, that kind of, you know, something to fall back to in case you do enough damage, so you already have it there, but really, I mean...
The doo-doo.
Oh. And, you know, I never find myself not being amazed during our casts together, at some point.
I am pretty fantastic. Someone was asking chat why it's orange. It's because they actually gave some visual updaters to a lot of the units in the game. Like Groove Spines and Hydras is actually like very green and noticeable now. Resonating Glaze orange makes it a little more apparent. And of course some stealth ones that they put in through this most recent patch. But
yeah,
ooh, that full surround looks promising. With a couple of force fields, I don't think these things are getting out of here.
Great force field right there. And as you can see, all these Lings going down, and that's painful considering we're about to see a big push across the map. I mean, you can see the extra gates finishing up, and, well, Harstem should be just getting ready to go for this in a moment or two, and I'm a little bit worried with how much Reynor's lost now.
I'm really curious about it, because I've seen this attack like 12.5 times. It always looks so great, so I'm not criticizing it. But I wonder why this doesn't get tied in with a +1. Surely that must just be worth with how many Adepts you end up making, but I guess that would be the cost of an extra couple sentries or an Immortal.
Yeah, I guess it just kind of comes down to when it's, I guess it's just sort of like the timing of it all. Like, when do you build the Forge, right? And when do you have the Chrono Boost to spare on it, maybe?
This is not an important base, but Shield Battery in the Adepts will keep it alive a lot longer than it should be. The attack does commence. Reynor's got some Hydras, but unfortunately, Hydras are not going to be that great in this situation. Not only are they going to get cut off by the sentries, Guardian Shield will reduce their damage, but let's not forget, Adepts do bonus damage to Hydras.
Well, let's see how this goes already. Force field, so many of the Hydras out. Oh my god.
7 fields are looking pretty good here as he cuts everything off on that ramp. The Hydras have got Groove Spines, so they can actually reach a little bit further, but as long as he plays this safe, it's only going to take 2 force fields to cut out half the army.
Even if he just gets those overlords, by the way, that would actually be quite substantial in terms of supply block from Reynor. As it stands, he just goes up the ramp into the natural, and now those Hydras still blocked towards the third base. It just means they're never going to be able to turn around, right? I mean, you know, Causing you just move up into the natural and force field this ramp instead. It's not on a few Adepts, he is going to lose the prism. That's a turning point. Oh, man. Wow.
That's like borderline consider recalling, but Reynor ends up holding GG.
Oh my god.
Wow.
How did this kid's insane.
You know, part of this is like I really want to hype up Reynor because he got Hydras in time. He played it calm and collected, but at the same time, Harstem, if he didn't miss that second force field at the very end, I don't think that game would have ended. Like, that actually did let the Hydras out. So, like, on one hand, credit to Reynor, but also a bit of a mistake to Harstem. A very crucial one in that.
That's one of those games where it's like everything falls apart so quickly. Suddenly one force field misses, the warp prism goes down, you miss a warp in.
Did you hit rewind? Did you hit rewind?
Yeah, no, I actually came all the way out of game and then hit watch replay.
I actually really hate the rewind feature. It's worse when you're rage quitting a game and then you accidentally hit rewind instead of quit. So you gotta stay there that second longer. You're like, I hate my life. I hate everything about StarCraft. Nothing about this game makes any sense.
That was I don't do that often. I don't know how I even hit it. It's like in such a it's not in the sort of position you sort of hit accidentally. I really don't know why I did. Anyway,
I gotta be real honest right now, by the way. Like, let's get a bit ahead of ourselves, right? If Reynor wins this and it's Harstem versus Optimus in the losers match, that is like the furthest match from what I would have expected to have happened. Like,
yeah, I kind of feel like Reynor and Harstem are pretty well set against each other, so I could see this one going either way. The Optimus series definitely was a bit of a surprise for me, though. So
yeah,
I feel if Reynor wins, I feel like going up against Bly, he's a heavy favorite, though. I know ZVZ shenanigans and all of this, but I really think that if you are as good as Reynor, it's very hard to trick him in ZVZ and to kind of pick up a quick win, and it really comes down to just straight up who is the better player a lot of the time. So it's going to be very interesting if Reynor does win this, which, well, he's on the way. He's 1-up.
Well, we're in the lobby for Neon Violet Square. We're just waiting on the players to give us the ready, and then we'll get into it. I really need to get some black blinds here. This is like blinding, literally blinding trying to count
Man, I know what it's like. You know, you look over to the left and you see my webcam. It's tough. Tough to focus.
Not following that up because I don't want to cheer 100 bits. We're gonna go to Neon Violet Square. We'll see you guys here in game. All right, folks, welcome back. Game number 2 kicking off here on Neon Violet Square. Spawning here in the top left, we've got the Red Protoss from Mysterian Gaming, Harstem.
He's down a game, but up a game, therefore, to the bottom right-hand side of this best of 5. It is our blue Zerg player, Reynor.
What does Rifkin have to do to use the Bully Jar? So the way this is set up, guys, this is actually not a jar like attached to BaseTradeTV. This is a jar attached to Wardy's channel. And anytime I bully Wardy, I have to cheer on his channel, which will effectively be the same as paying him a couple of bucks. So far, we're 200 bits in. And I'm trying real hard, guys. Trying real hard. Money is a good motivator for most people, and especially for me, so.
Yeah. I'm impressed. I feel like I'm having the nicest
gonna break.
day ever.
You know what's gonna happen though? Like, we're gonna be in game 5 of like the grand finals, and I'm just gonna snap, and I'm gonna have to use like 70,000 bits because I'm just gonna be like shotgunning insults off back to back to back to back.
Yeah, I'm biding my time. I'm being patient.
Here's an example, guys. Wardy's giggling right now because he doesn't know what to talk because he's terrible at casting. And that just actually got me bronze badge on your channel. Now the top 3 cheers. Yeah.
I only have one stream this week. Leave me be. I've been too busy on
Fortnite, dude. No, you've been playing too much Fortnite. All these 12-year-old kids don't have money. All these 12-year-old kids don't have money to give you, Wardy.
Dude,
quit streaming Fortnite.
I literally casted on base rate for 6 hours on Monday, and I casted for like 4 hours last night. What do you want me to do?
Not play Fortnite. I hate that game. Come back to
Why?
PUBG, baby. We miss you.
We haven't offered me to play PUBG for so long.
Did you actually, what was up? Did you get to play any of the 8v8 modes that they had with the flare guns?
No.
Oh, that was actually pretty fun. I really want them to bring back more stuff like that. Because I feel what was really cool is like in PUBG, and I know guys, it's not StarCraft, shut up, whatever. In PUBG, like, you spend so much of your game not fighting sometimes. But with the 8v8s, you would have that same level of not fighting, but when you did fight, it was like 10 times more epic. Because there's like 8 people on a team firefighting. It was so sick.
Unless you're the guy that goes down to the sniper on the first shot. It's like, oh, feels bad, man.
Yeah, well, if you're that guy, go back to Fortnite. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, I wasn't that guy. You know, I'm the carry, so.
That was the one thing I actually. One of the things I know there's like a million things for me to dissect about Fortnite. I just upset there's no vehicles, man. Sometimes running people over is actually the most satisfying part of playing PUBG.
PUBG's a lot of fun. Everyone stopped playing PUBG. Oh, you know, everyone stopped inviting me to play PUBG. Rifkin.
I'm sorry, what's that? I'm in your chat, hanging out. You invite Todd, but not me while we're in the same chat? Sounds about right.
Oh, but Todd was my duo partner. You know, we would go pro.
If there was a reverse bully jar, man.
Oh, dear.
Alright, these devs are probably not going to shade in. But they also don't get far enough to check the gas, which kind of sucks. Not a big deal, of course, because he saw the 3rd, so Reynor not exactly getting away with things. But Harstem last game, let's not forget, like, it's his decision making ultimately that caused that game to go the way it did. This time around, ooh, excuse me, got a hiccup there. This time around, he's playing a lot more standard Phoenix Oracle. It's an easy 3rd base map too, whether you want to take it in the back pocket or like even forward. But oh no, these poor depths. Will not get anything done.
Reynor just jumping straight on those. And that's already a nice little something because that's less, you know, he doesn't have to make any more lings now. He doesn't lose any drones at all. That's a really nice catch very quickly there. And that's something that we haven't really seen the last few days of PvZ, you know? We saw a lot of ZVP yesterday, and I feel as though not a single time did we see those 2 adepts being caught before they took down 4 or 5 workers. Oracle coming all the way back, and while the Phoenix goes hunting for those overlords, you can see you can just get some more damage done. And the Robo Twilight, I mean, this game obviously looks a lot more standard, as you were saying, so looking towards probably the Templar Archives and the Charge drops, with the War Prism, some Archon drops, and I mean, from there, everything becomes very standardized into the mid-game.
Oh, I really want to dive in on this drama in chat that Haibani Kuramori, I can't say your name, but I've heard some things, my dude. Condolences. That whole community is interesting, we'll say. I can't say more because it'll be against TOS on Twitch.
God damn, I hate TOS.
The Oracle succeeding? Yeah, I also hate TOS.
I just have nothing to add. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not gonna lie. This is the great thing about casting with you. I learned so much outside of StarCraft. Like, I learned about the goings on of the world and, like, you know, Twitch drama or YouTube drama and all these things that I didn't even know they existed, you know? It's like a real culture.
Zombie Group's the same. I don't know what a lot of people in StarCraft just don't venture outside of StarCraft, I find. And that's not a good versus a bad thing. It's just actually genuinely interesting because I guess I'm more Twitch than I am StarCraft, but StarCraft is my focus, right? But this attack coming out of Harstem is going to be pretty nasty. Archons are not fun to chase down.
He only has 4 gates though, so it's not going to be a ton of Zealots, right? Which means that it's mostly just these couple Archons. And so far they get like a creep tumor. I mean, Reynor's kind of been holding back just in case there is more Zealots. He doesn't want to extend too far forwards and suddenly get kind of surrounded by charge drops. But as he realizes it's a little bit safer, he is going to be pushing forwards a little bit more and even saves that Queen at the last moment, although Harstem saves his Zealots last moment. This is a real back and forth between them as no one loses anything. Apart from the creep tumor.
Thank you, Coronac, by the way, for the 8-month resub. Happy birthday, Rifkin. Do I have the right month yet? Nope. Keep trying.
Oh, wait, when's your birthday?
Oh, well, it's the same as my social security number.
Is this the same as, like, is this actually a thing? You don't tell anyone your birthday is? I just realized I didn't know. Huh. 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 Oh my god, it's not even on Wikipedia. Huh.
Oh, this Ling Rabbi is real noise. The shield battery is actually not in range to save most of the mineral line, so gets away with about 5 and walks away from this. This is great though, because I mean, between deterring the Archons on his side of the field and actually drawing the army back home, this gives Reynor a lot of breathing room, right? He's taking a 4th base, okay, that's kind of whatever, but it's more about the Lurker Den and the eventual next tech he's getting, the +2 weapons. All of this is time buying against the player who was hoping to be a little more aggressive than he ended up being, as Harstem was shut down from his attacks.
Storm's about to finish up, so Harstem's going to get to that next stage of the game, which is a little bit safer for himself, a little bit more dangerous for the Zerg. Once, you know, obviously, Storm's in the game, Hydras have to be so cautious about how they attack. Lurker Den, though, coming in from Reynor, which in itself is kind of the same effect as Storm, but in reverse for the Protoss player. You have to be very careful about how you engage into Lurkers. You can't just go running into any fight and just be like, haha, let's do this, because those Lurkers will do a lot of damage. So, again, I mean...
You can if they're not protected properly, right? If they're not covered, suddenly Lurkers go from being the most dangerous thing a Protoss player could see to being just like, lol, let my Immortals through! Out of the way!
Yeah, it's stretching.
They're not set 'em and forget 'em units, but goddamn, they are deadly if they get in that right spot. And Reynor, I can't imagine will be making those mistakes. But man, Harstem, I love some of these stasis traps. They look really out of place. But they're meant to catch units running around and not like a big cluster of like an oh my god, he got the whole army.
You're seeing the fleet beacon coming down right now from Harstem. So he's already, I mean, this is the Unvalid Square as well, by the way. So obviously we didn't talk much about the map yet, but it's a very defensive map. This is the sort of map where you're probably expecting to see the mothership. You're probably expecting the Protoss to build up into multiple bases and get into carriers and look to see what the Zerg can do against that. And this is the map that will go long in this map pool right now, so this and back order. So we are probably seeing Harstem playing a little bit more passive because of that, and also because it's kind of harder to attack across the map when it is a long distance and there's choke points for Lurkers to cover.
It reminds me of that story, was it Mark Twain wrote, Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, where he got him to paint defense.
What?
He tricked defense. You tricked him into painting defense.
You tricked him into the defense, which is defense.
Oh, god damn it, Wardy. Alright, Warp Prism heads up to the main. Possible Warp Ins come. Not enough Hydras to focus this down. Zealots could actually buy a lot of time for this. But not big Warp Ins, because as you brought up earlier, there wasn't really crazy amounts of gateways. Still, 8's not bad, but I don't think Harstem's going to be dumping full Warp Ins to minor harass.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense, right? So, just going to be seeing the Prism push back. Good defense by Reynor. Doesn't kind of have to pull his entire army over there or anything. And now you start to see that carrier production, 2 more Stargates, and Harstem's just getting set and ready to go into that longer game. That's what he's going to play for here on Neon. So, into a longer game for himself, and Reynor in the meantime, he's just going to set up with, well, again, I mean, he's already got a lot of lurkers, so he actually might try and catch this army out in the middle. He doesn't have to towns yet, though.
Right, that's on the way. So that instant burrow's not here, and Reynor would take a lot of damage just even setting those down. Backing away is the right call. Gives him a better chance to set in, and of course, makes Harstem then come to him. But, oh man. Jumanji says, yo, shut up, y'all. Dad jokes are the shit. Look, dude, let's be real. I don't tell dad jokes often, but when I do, he usually laughs.
Yeah, I find a lot of your jokes funny.
Can I get some ripped D's in the chat?
I really think this one just like... Wait, did you just tell another joke? I just missed it completely.
I don't often tell dad jokes, but when I do, he laughs. How is this one going over your head?
You don't often tell dad jokes, but when you do... Am I just having a bad day? Is it me? Am I the issue here?
I think you might be part of the problem, Morty. I think you might be part of the problem. We got quite a few templates. I can't even spell this one out. It's literally in what I've said. Like, I don't often tell dad jokes. But when I do, he usually laughs. As in, I'm telling my father jokes, not that I'm telling dad jokes.
Oh, I thought you were going to like, I don't tell bad jokes. But my name of dad, I was like, I thought nothing. I mean, this just came out of nowhere. Like,
all right, Wardy, guess what? StarCraft's happening, believe it or not, while we've been frustrated with you. And Harstem is trying to find a good position to engage this. He's got a lot of Templar, but one just got picked off. I think I'm a little worried about those. I'm not sure if he's ready for the drops that are coming. Reynor had just made about 5 or something Overlords ready to drop some Lurkers and Hydras into the main base. This is something not a lot of Protoss players handle well, but Harstem appears to be ready for this. I guess he's played Nurtio enough times to learn his lesson against Zerg, and shield batteries and cannons won't stop a drop, but it'll buy him time to react to it.
Well, would you see this army just backing away? The Corruptors coming through, and Zard's taking down the bottom side base as well. I love that Harstem's keeping active on the map. You cannot just let the Zerg be completely in control and taking their bases completely freely, because it's so easy for you to do the prison play. But let's see what Harstem can do with his own defense now. Those Overlords drop into the main.
You know what's great about this attack for Reynor, though, Wardy? Even if this goes terribly, and it's not, he's actually the weapon upgrades, gets the forge. Even this is so nice. Gonna catch the carriers early on. He's got 8,800 minerals to fall back on if this fails.
Oh, it's not a joke.
It's actually not a problem for him to lose this fight, but he's not even losing this fight. He's killing the production of the very important units out of Harstem, as Harstem's transition here was delicate, but was going to eventually dominate. So now Harstem's forced to go for a counterattack. He's not recalling, but guess what? There's Lurkers, there's Spine Crawlers. This is a hell of a lot of defense here waiting.
Well, Reynor's going to give up that base, probably because of how well this attack in the main is going, right? It's in this sort of position now where he's getting enough done that he can kind of afford to lose a base. And, you know, if Harstem's going to be giving that up rather than going home, he's like, okay, well, I'll just give you my gold base. I can take another base elsewhere, though. For now, he's reset down to 4 bases. I mean, the 5th base on the south side, he's going to retake the gold, but only 4 bases up at the moment. It's actually not a lot for Reynor, but again, the bank's already there, so...
Yeah, you don't need the bases if you already got the money.
Right, but 2,000 gas doesn't go out, doesn't go on forever. That's actually...
Why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? Oh my god, the Nexus goes down. That's gonna be rough to justify because there's a good chunk of gas left in this one geyser.
Yeah, he might even have to just retake that. Maybe like way later in the game if it becomes like one of those crazy games where there's like barely anything left on the
He's
map.
actually gonna take it back. Yeah.
I mean, how many minerals are left over? 170. There's enough minerals to justify as well if he mines out. He pays for the nexus.
Attack to the south though. Only changes on hold position are blocking out the zealots. That was some nice moves with the Sim City, but as he starts knocking down the shield batteries, the changelings have less effect. That was a cool move out of Reynor though. Really love this stuff. I mean, we're talking a lot about this kid and how good he is at StarCraft, but he's actually showing us too, which is great. Harstem is getting beat back, but
Game paused.
ooh, bit of an awkward pause. He's still not out of this game. Like, he did actually get carriers. He actually has a mothership. There's been some issues for sure with his production going down, but let's not forget, as good as all these lurkers are, none of them can shoot up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest issue. Will he be able to deal with the carriers in the end? Because Harstem, despite this attack in the main, he lost a lot. But he still has 4 bases down the left side of the map, right? And so if you can keep building up the carriers, is there an answer from Reynor? You know, like, I'm looking at it, I'm looking at Reynor's unit count. He's got 17 corruptors, 8 more on the way.
Well,
I kind of feel like, yes, there is. But you never know when the Protoss carriers just never die. Sometimes they just last forever.
there's going to be an answer from Reynor. The question is whether it's the right one. Because sometimes you just, yeah, corruptors sound like a good idea, then you fly over Archons. Feels bad,
Game
man.
resumed.
You have to be so careful with how you use the corruptors, but someone like Reynor, yeah, I'm kind of believing he has enough. Let's see how it goes, because this game's definitely far from over. For the moment, as we see some zealots warping in and deal with that drop wall, which is still around. Looks like the corruptors are going to come through to cause 6 spray down another base, maybe. An Archon nearby, they're going to make it difficult to choose which one. I had actually just go after that carry. I mean, that's a big pick-off.
Shield batteries will live? No.
I mean, only one shield battery can shield at a time, right? So
It's only one shield battery, you're right, so the carrier should have lived.
I actually thought, I guess he has his core 6 round cooldown.
Hey, shield batteries Nexus! I love this!
I love the Archons fighting the corruptors that aren't core 6 spraying.
What? Yeah, what's it doing? Okay, the Nexus is still gonna go down.
I mean,
Valiant effort. This makes it super not worthwhile, though. I mean, retaking it once is one thing. I don't think you can do it again.
Yeah. Well, he's going to, though. He doesn't care what you think.
If Harstem had more of a bank and more map control, I'd be like, this is fine. Like, you can really afford to mess around like this. But he's not in a great position, in my opinion, as far as map control goes. But I guess as his army does build up, you know, he is maxed out on supply. A lot of it are the heavy-duty units, because we've talked about this time and time again. It's not carriers that win a game. It's carriers with their Templar and Archons underneath them that win a game.
Yeah, it's the support of the carriers, and right now there isn't enough money for Harstem to really be able to go into like a supporting set of units if he loses one fight, whereas Reynor can rebuild everything, right?
Real talk, where has Reynor been getting this money from? Like, did he have a trust fund in this game and now he's suddenly of age because it's taken so long? Like, 10,000 minerals! Almost 11,000 minerals!
I think it's just because he didn't. I mean, we're 17 minutes in, he only has 12,000 resources lost, and it's a little bit more efficient than what Harstem's been trading too, so I think it's just that sort of mixture of not really taking a lot of major fights where a lot was lost. I mean, we look at units lost, it isn't that crazy. I think they've had like one real fight between them throughout this game that hasn't been just like a prison of harassment or so.
The danger of like almost no rush 20 minutes.
Yeah.
One thing Reynor could do though, because he has such an extreme bank, is seriously, and he should consider this, like a ton of static defense. Whether it's lines and rows of spore crawlers as we've seen, or whether it's a spine crawler or 17 of them, like there should be something going through this investment of money. Nothing's gonna feel worse than potentially losing a game to Harstem when you've got this much money in the bank.
Especially when so much of it is minerals, which exceeds the gas count, right? Because he's not going to be, he's not going to spam zircons here. What are they going to do? Maybe a few to run by every now and then, but he can definitely afford some spores and spines, and I mean, there's really no reason not to, as we see, well, defense getting set up right here to try and hold on as those carriers, storms, Archons are maybe looking for a fight right now. Harstem has to be careful, because it's just like that, boom, one carrier goes down, the corruptors take a little bit of damage, but not too much.
Yeah, but that's the start of the fight, right? You dive in for one carrier, you take a third of your health, dive in for a second one, same deal. Archons eventually just kill all the Corruptors. I mean, Harstem doesn't need a lot left over, he just needs enough to be able to actually kill the Lurkers. But, oh, that puzzle slows the Archons on top of the Lurkers' warpath. That's going to be spicy. A lot of Spore Crawlers down here to the south. Harstem was not expecting flies into those bad boys, and he might just lose a carrier to the Spores.
There's no storms left after these High Templar go down, by the way, and he loses pretty much all of them.
Yikes.
Now the Corruptors have a lot more freedom to jump onto that army. Yes, there's a couple of Archons left over, but...
Oh, he needs those shots, though. The Lurkers kill the Archons. He's not going to get the shots. Mothership's going to go down. Carriers are going to fall to these Corruptors. Harstem doesn't have that much money to remake.
Maybe he actually cleans out some of these Corruptors, but it's the 22 Corruptors and Remax that are going to be the massive issue, right?
You know what? No, the bigger issue, Reynor actually just spent his gas bank. He could still have like 60,000 minerals for all we care. If he doesn't have any gas to build with, none of that matters. So this Remax of Corruptors has to be worthwhile. Otherwise, he just spent his gas bank and he'll regret it.
And now he's losing Lurkers, actually. So without Lurkers on the map, how do you fight the new ground units? You can see how important the Lurkers were in that last fight. They were the units that got rid of the Archons. They were the units that got rid of the High Templar. So Reynor really needs to take extra bases now. He is expanding up to the upper right. I like this, jumping on the carriers with the new Corruptors as soon as possible, because the longer you wait, the more there is to support these units. And you need to get rid of them now rather than later. And the moment he is, because everything has been all about this one Void Ray. Thanks so much damage finally goes down. It has all been about the kind of, build-up of, reproducing air units initially, and then he just now got a few High Templar in play.
Actually, with how few Hydras are left, Void Rays on mass wouldn't be too bad of an idea. Carriers are far more expensive, obviously, but Void Rays would actually be able to contest the Corruptors a lot better than carriers will.
Yeah, I think he added on a couple of Void Rays. It's just, when you make Void Rays against this many Corruptors...
remind me real quick, who was it that said that what would he do? Make Zerglings, and what would Zerglings do?
Yeah, I said, what would they do? I mean, you can make a few and you can maybe run by and do some damage.
By the way, I think it's borderline
exactly
bullying.
What's going on.
Not quite bullying, guys.
That's exactly what's going on.
This is actually really key, though. He doesn't have Adrenal Glands. He doesn't have any melee upgrades. These are actually pretty weak Zerglings, all things considered, but with just nothing to spare, Harstem's got 1,100 minerals, 1,600 gas, no warpins going to defend that base. He's just giving it up.
With missile upgrades on +3, maybe you should add up some queen with these minerals. Because there is just so many
bad, because you get transfuses with it too?
Yeah, you get transfuses. They help a little bit against the air units.
I like this. Soccer's in a blink, and that kind of sucks, but this is going to be a little bit better to dance around with the Corruptors than an Archon would be. Because, of course, Archon's a very short, stubby range.
But he loses two of the Stargates that were very close to finishing carriers, and carriers have a huge build time. So, once again, Harstem is just set onto no air units for a while, but that does mean these Corruptors are kind of dead weight, and Reynor realizing this is now starting to build a Greater Spire. Takes a fight over here. High Templar, a big part of defending this. I mean, it's only really Zerglings, so it's not too much of an issue. With a few supporting Hydras and Lurkers are really going a long way.
Oh!
So careful.
Yeah, I talked about that gas bank earlier. If he loses those Corruptors, he's not remaking those, and then Harstem only needs to make like a couple of carriers, which he already has in production. Reynor is so close to throwing this game. It terrifies me, Wardy. It just straight up terrifies me.
The game is balancing on a knife edge right now. I mean, as soon
as... Look at the
as
resources lost between the two of them. Oh my god.
39 KFPs. Also, I'm taking a couple of good trades to catch up because he was trailing in resources lost about 5 minutes ago, so that's nice. Now, here's the issue though. Harstem doesn't have a massive bank, and now Harstem isn't mining off of the 5th base. But Reynor has bases coming back online. He's mining once again, and he's maxed out. I'm starting to look... I feel as though Reynor's done enough, because he's denied bases while taking his own bases. This big momentum shift, which he gained by winning the fight on the south side of the map about 3-4 minutes ago, is really now starting to come into play.
This is crazy. I keep checking the income graph periodically, and for like 10 minutes out of the 23, it's been all blue. Harstem wasn't even a blip on it. But even with his base is going down, this is the closest we've seen him to beating Reynor in income in quite some time. Also, these Corruptors, I mean, there's not really a lot left for them to caustic spray. Killing this Nexus takes away 200 gas and maybe a Chrono, but that's not that precious to Harstem right now. It's way more valuable to be focusing down here.
I think it's just easy damage though, right? Because that's why the army isn't. So
That's
maybe
true.
it's not so much about the Nexus. Maybe it's even just about pulling some units up to the top side to push the Corruptors away, trying to bait Harstem away from the more important base, because then maybe Reynor can strike with the rest of his units. Obviously, Harstem a little bit too good and doesn't move away at that moment, so continues to sit here because he knows that he needs the space really badly.
I didn't even realize Harstem's gas is completely out. Like, all of his gases are expired.
Yeah.
So these 2 new gases, yeah, this would be literally the only source of income for him.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough spot, and now you're going to see Reynor getting a great... Feels that Reynor's not really been on this side of the map so much with like his entire army all game long, apart from, you know, a few drops here and there. And now he gets himself onto the ramp on the natural, he's going to go for a power. Still can't afford to lose all of the Corruptors. It's a massive part of what he has to play with here.
I don't know what that Archon was doing. He can't afford to lose that. Attack to the south also looking pretty scary. Harstem has to split his forces, but it's easier said than done. He kind of has to stay as one giant death ball. He doesn't really have the opportunity to split. This isn't much. It should normally be easy to clean up, but in this case, it's not.
He's gonna get a Dark Shrine up, so maybe a couple of DTs could start doing jumps.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 Game over, man!
Oh no! He doesn't have any gas.
You make like 1 Templar, maybe?
I mean, so what? Like, what's 1 Templar gonna do? Like 2 storms? That nice, but it's not gonna be enough.
I think Reynor's got this, man. With that being the mistake, Harstem's biggest clutching factor was he had like 6 storms. He could take out any army fight with like 6 storms, but the miscontrol there, I mean, it's so similar to game number 1. You know, he missed a force field, cost him the game. He hands over his winning ships through Templar, could cost him the game.
He's going to go after some of these bases right now, but I think Ren was making a very mature decision to just sort of hold back until he gets a few more Corruptors up, just sort of counterattack for a little bit longer. He's going to start moving forwards now. Time Warp even coming down from Harstem. That's not something you see all the time. And we'll slow down some of those hides. We're going to be seeing the Corruptors are going after the carriers right now, and well, they've just popped it down so quickly.
That's going to be it. GG.
Reynor, an absolute beast here so far.
Yeah, 2-0 is a really good start against a player like Harstem. But it is the best of 5, so he's not won it just yet. We're going to head off a quick commercial break, guys, before we get into Game 3. Take a quick breather, and we'll see you soon for more. Can we get some hype in the chat for this guy? He's up 2-0. He's put his opponent on match point. It's safe to say he's exceeding expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the Red Zerg Reynor.
And the bottom right-hand side, our Blue Protoss player is Harstem.
Now, again, for those...
Really sick. I was going to say, it's going to be really sick to see either of these guys get to Canada. Obviously, this isn't qualifying to Canada matches today. It's our playoffs to come, but it's kind of cool to see them both take the next step.
Agreed, absolutely. I was also going to mention, though, for those who are unfamiliar with our bracket format, there is still an elimination match, which will be happening next. So whoever loses here isn't out of the tournament yet, but whoever loses the next best of 5 will be. And of course, the opponent waiting for them is Optimus. It's Optimus in chat, probably just trying to see who he wants to fight. Yo, Optimus, if you're still here, who are you hoping to fight more between the two of them? I'd love to know. I gotta imagine he probably wants Harstem. I'd only say this because his TVP track record has been so sick, but at the same time, Harstem's a scary dude. So I don't know.
I don't think you want to fight either of these guys. They're playing kind of... Reynor's playing insane, and Harstem's just so good lately. I don't know, man.
So what do you do? Forfeit? What are you, the worst bracket player of all time?
No, I didn't say you forfeit. I just did say I wouldn't like to play either of them. I think they're both difficult opponents.
Oh shit! Hey, by the way, I was just retweeting the best of 69 thing during the break, and I didn't see that. If he's still lurking about, Laser SEQ donated $69.69 to that prize pool. That's pretty cool. So if you're lurking or watching the VOD, man, just big gracious thank you.
That's a solid meme donation.
Dude, I wrecked partying so bad. If you guys were on a stream this morning, you know what I'm talking about. But if you didn't, the TLDR was like, I kind of casually, nonchalantly asked partying, like, what's your least favorite map in the history of StarCraft 2? So he tells me it's Steps of War. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll make map number 1 in the best of 69 that's Steps of War. So he says, fuck you. So I'm like, oh, You want Scrap Station as number 2? Got it. He's like, no, no, no. All Wings to Liberty maps, trash. I'm like, awesome. So Zelnaga for number 3. And he goes through calling me bitch to calling me sir. And he's like, please, sir. You don't want me to lose. Like, it was so good. I love Party. He's so freaking funny. That match is gonna be so much fun. But people have been asking nonstop, like, is this real? Is this not real? As far as I'm concerned, it's real. It's definitely not something I've set up. Like, these guys have been really pissy at each other. I can't even get them in the same Skype group to come to terms on like stuff for the tournament. I have to speak to them individually. So I don't know. If they're putting on a show, they're putting on a really good show.
Some drama, man. That's what we need. We need like the villains of the StarCraft scene back again. We don't really have any villains right now in StarCraft. A good villain, you know.
As you say, we have a couple of villains, if you know what I'm saying.
I know. I thought of this and I was like, well, we have a villain, but not very entertaining villain for the most part, in my eyes. Not a good villain. Can he be a good villain? Is that an oxymoron?
It's kind of me in a way. Everyone villainizes me, but I'm really the good guy. Although I guess that's the thing a bad guy would say to justify his actions.
Intriguing.
By the way, Harstem has thrown down a Twilight Council. This is looking very similar to game number 1 so far, but it'll be a question of whether it's resonating glaives again. I'm going to be truthfully honest. I liked his attack in game 1. If he didn't mess up that one force field, I think he would have won game number 1.
Yeah. I think game number 1 was really for Harstem. Like, oh my god, what on earth happened? Like, it was just, I really didn't see Reynor holding this attack. Everything was going so well. He picked off so many Hydras, but he made that mistake. The War Prison went down, and everything went downhill from there. This game, I mean, this is already 5 gateways, right? So this is, I think, more aggressive than it was in the first game, where he stayed on 3 gates for a little bit longer. It's going to be a lot of adepts moving along.
How many gates?
Do you want to donate to me?
Ah, fuck yeah, I'll put it in the
Yeah. Literally the easiest running way.
Ah, goofed. I did 10. Okay, there's 90 to make up for it. There you go. I hit it too soon. I was too frustrated. It's worth the shot, though.
Oh. Well, Glaive's coming up, and Adept's about to get across the map.
It was great. Your top cheer thing was cleared, right? So like I'm slowly climbing to the top. I'm actually tied with your top cheer bit guy for the week. I'm gonna end up on number 1 at this rate.
We need chat to bully me into bit me so that we don't have to get number 1.
The Roaches will meet him in the map, and Roaches are gonna be a lot better to fight this off with than Zerglings, for example, but they're a lot less mobile. He could shade past these pretty easily, and in low numbers he could actually fight the Roaches just straight up like we're seeing here. The Oracle comes in and helps a lot with this. Gets to the top of the ramp expecting to see more army, but honestly there's not that much. So he just cancels, walks around, and hits the 3rd.
Man, it's crazy that Reynor had like really nothing there. I thought he was going to lose a lot, but Harstem, for whatever reason, decides not to engage, and now Reynor has a little bit more time to sneak out a few more Roaches and to be able to maybe take this fight a little bit more easily. Get chased away. Obviously, you don't want to chase with too many of your units as the Zerg player, though, because you need to be ready for the potential commitment to the shade backwards back at home, so that's why Harstem is, Reynor is keeping some of those Roaches back. But hey, Roach Street, though, and this is that very typical sort of, I dealt with the Adepts, now I'm going to counter, I've got a bunch of Roaches, and you have Adepts, like, what are you going to do? But at the same time, there is already an Immortal on the way out.
That is a surprising amount of Roaches, though Harstem I really don't think was expecting to see that second half of them on his side of the field already. Reynor has come out of the gate swinging hard, and when Immortals are out, they'll deal with the Roaches, but they're not really here just yet. Look at neither the second half of the Roaches. It's a really delicate engagement that's about to happen here.
We're going to see a couple of sentries came down on the left-hand side of the hospitals, but now it's a surround for Reynor. Harstem's in a little bit of trouble. That one sentry on the left side is tanking so much damage with the shield battery. He obviously wants to get the Immortal. That's going to be a massive part of this, but he doesn't get it. And I feel like Reynor is losing a lot of Roaches.
Did he chase too deep? I mean, he took a lot of damage from the Adepts while this is going on. Now he goes back for round 2, tries to get that Immortal shield battery. He's out of juice. Not many Roaches left over, however, but Reynor's reinforcements that are going to be coming across the map are still numerous. Harstem's down to 29 supply. He doesn't have a bank of like 3 Immortals to fall back on. It's still mostly gateway units.
Man, that one, there's just these roaches on the left side, and I don't know what they were doing because I don't understand how they didn't one-shot the sentry, but this sentry just got healed up so much.
Yeah, that shield battery was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like half the roaches just weren't attacking, or like they were out of sync.
The thing is, though, it was using its energy on the sentry and not the immortal, and that is kind of an important factor.
That's true, but the immortal wasn't even in trouble at that point, right? So I feel like the immortal, I guess it used up some of its energy though, but I guess that's sort of inevitable, right? Anyways, I mean, that aside, roaches are coming in again. Good force fields, but that's where the Ravagers come into play. Breaking those force fields down. A little bit of depth wolfing down to the south as we are going to see pulled again. Oh man, has Reynor just got a little bit too much here, Rifkin?
It's looking like that, but there's 2 immortals this time. That's a pretty big deal. Shield batteries aside and cannons notwithstanding, if the immortals live, then oh well, we'll take that back. The immortals are dead, and so is Harstem. Oh, we got a Netherlands off in the losers bracket, Morty.
Netherlands off. GG. Reynor takes game 3 in the series, and wow. Yeah. I'm not used to seeing these convincing series from players in this event the last couple of days because we've really seen some back and forth games and series especially. But Reynor goes through to the winner match, and I just have to say, I really think, like, how do you beat Reynor as Bly? Because I think Reynor's just so good right now. I'm really excited to see what Bly can come up with. But
cheese the shit out of him. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think Reynor's just so strong in, against Cheese even. I was just going to say, but I did read the rules, and we do lose this match first, which means it is Harstem and Optimus in the next series in a few moments' time, I believe.
Yep, so we're going to find out which of these players gets eliminated from the tournament first. Before then, though, guys, we got to do some ads, and of course, shout out to the sponsors of the tournament. We're going to talk about Ting a little bit as we watch one of the longer Ting videos from us at TwitchCon. You've seen this many times already. I'm sure you're bored of it. Deal with it. But Ting is a U.S. mobile phone service. If you're in the United States and you are paying more than $25 a month on your phone bill, it might be worth looking into Ting. There's a chance Ting isn't for you and their services might not serve you well, but here's the big selling points, right? It's not a contract. You pay month by month and you pay for what you use. So if you don't use a lot of data, you don't pay a lot of money. Easy peasy. If you're somebody who's around Wi-Fi all the time watching stuff like Twitch, you're probably not using that much data. I'm stuck paying $90. It's literally the best plan with any data I can get. I'm paying $90 Canadian a month. It sucks. I would love if Ting serviced Canada. So you guys in the United States, don't take it for granted. Check it out and make sure you use the link bttv.ting.com. Not only because it'll give us credit for your potential purchase, but also give you $25 off your bill, which means you can basically try Ting for free. At any rate, I have yet to see any complaints about people who use Ting. We've been working with them for years. ZombieGrub uses it regularly. I used to use it all the time when I was in the States more often. But until then, commercials. Here's a video of us at TwitchCon, because they flew us out to TwitchCon. Ting are good guys. We'll see you guys in a bit.